Welcome back to the deep dive. We are really getting into it now. We're looking at chapters 13 through 17 of The Great Hunt. And let me tell you, this section it's way more than just a chase scene.
Oh, absolutely. This is the point where the story just cracks wide open. The whole nature of the quest shifts under our feet.
Yeah, it feels like we're not just trying to get an artifact back anymore. We're suddenly dealing with, I don't know, the fundamental laws of reality.
That's a perfect way to put it. We go from a high-stakes pursuit to something almost cosmic. The source material we have today confirms it. The Horn of Valere is now tied to interdimensional travel, to prophecy, and to Rand's power starting to manifest in really unpredictable ways.
Okay, so that's our mission today. We need to get total clarity on this reality-bending stuff. We have to break down what these portal stones are, what these mirror worlds are, because my head is still spinning.
It's a lot to take in. And while we do that, we have to track the internal pressure on Rand al'Thor, the immense weight on him.
Right, because he's being told what he is, and he's just screaming no, but the universe seems to be branding him with it anyway, physically.
Exactly. These chapters are the shift. The dangers are no longer just, Trollocs in the woods. The danger is now to the very fabric of existence. It's where a personal journey just slams headfirst into the destiny of the entire world.
Okay, let's set the stage a little. Before the universe gets complicated, what's the state of play right before chapter 13? What's the baggage our heroes are carrying into this mess?
Well, the foundation was already cracked. That's the key thing to remember. Back in chapter 9, the Emerald seat, Siouan Sanch, she makes this monumental announcement.
The world-breaking one.
The world-breaking one. She confirms officially that Rand al'Thor is the Dragon Reborn. This isn't a theory anymore, it's a fact, coming from the highest authority in the White Tower.
And Rand's reaction to that defines everything that's happening now. He doesn't just say no. He screams it, that line, "I will not be used." It's just this raw demand for control over his own life.
It is. It's a desperate struggle for self-determination, and that struggle is the engine for everything that follows. His denial fuels his fear.
And the fear fuels the uncontrollable magic stuff.
Precisely. And at the same time, we can't forget what kicked this all off. The Horn of Valere and that cursed dagger from Shadar Logoth. They were stolen by Padan Fain.
So the whole party, Rand, Ingtar, Mat, Perrin, Hurin, and Loial, they're all out on the road, driven by this grim, desperate need to get those things back. But it's been going on for a while.
Right. Chapters 10, 11, and 12 were all about that relentless pursuit, and you can feel the toll it's taking emotionally, spiritually. It's just grinding them down.
Especially Rand.
Oh, especially Rand. He's got that banner Moiraine gave him, the banner of loose there and tell him on the dragon, and he's at war with himself. He's desperately trying to hold on to being Rand the Shepherd while the whole world is trying to force him into this terrifying, prophetic, doomed role.
And all that pressure, it makes things snap. Right at the start of this block of chapters, the group splinters. The whole story diverges. Which brings us to our first deep dive segment, The Gathering Storm.
And we'll start in Faldara, chapter 13. While the men are out on the hunt, the women have their own story unfolding.
And it's not exactly a calm, quiet training montage, is it? The atmosphere there is, it's chaos.
It is. Total urgency. There was that assassination attempt on the Emerald seat, and the whole fortress is in disarray. The soldiers, the townsfolk, everyone's on edge.
Right, that was back in chapter 10. She was grazed by an arrow. It wasn't just a threat, it was a real attack.
A very real attack. And it confirmed that the Dark One's influence reaches right to the top. So the Amyrlin is determined to get back to the safety of Tar Valon, even if the road is dangerous. She wants out.
And in the middle of all this pressure, you have Egwene and Nynaeve. They're basically White Tower trainees now. And they're learning from Varan Sedai.
Yes, and in chapter 13, Varan gives them what is arguably the single most important lesson about channeling. It's this core philosophical idea.
Let me guess. It's the one that sounds completely backward.
It is. She says channelers must, and this is the quote, surrender to the power before you can control it.
Surrender to control it. That's so counterintuitive, especially for Nynaeve, who is like the definition of a control freak.
Absolutely. Her entire personality is built around being in charge, taking control, and she's being told she has to let go, to relinquish her will, to wield this immense power.
It sounds almost like a Zen koan or something.
It's very much in that vein. It's a Taoist principle in a high fantasy novel. You can't bully the power. You can't dominate it. You have to become one with it, move with its flow.
And Nynaeve, does not take to this well.
Not at all. She fights it, she resists the surrender, and what happens? She accidentally starts a massive, uncontrollable fire during the training. It's a perfect illustration of danger. Trying to fight the flow is lethal.
And that ties directly back to Rand, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He is fighting the power with every single part of himself. So when he does channel, it's always an accident. It's always this huge, explosive, terrifying thing because he refuses to surrender.
Precisely. The parallel is deliberate and powerful. And this is also where we get more context on Egwene and Nynaeve being wilders.
Okay, what does that mean exactly? A wilder?
It's someone who learned to channel on their own without the formal structure of the White Tower. They have incredible raw power, but because they had no guidance, they've built up all these mental blocks to protect themselves. It makes the act of surrendering that much harder and that much more dangerous.
So they're powerful, but they're also like walking time bombs until they can break down those walls they built.
A very good analogy. And while Nynaeve is struggling with control, Egwene is showing a different kind of potential. Something massive.
The dreams.
The dreams. The sources note her worry for Rand is starting to manifest as these incredibly vivid dreams. She sees him in grave danger. And another Aes Sedai, Anaya, she hints that Egwene might be a dreamer.
Wait, hold on. A dreamer? That sounds like a big deal. Can we just pause on that for a second?
Yeah.
What does that actually signify in this world?
It's a huge deal. It's an exceptionally rare and powerful talent. A dreamer is someone who can innately enter and sometimes even influence the world of dreams. Tell her, Henriette.
The world of dreams. So these aren't just bad nightmares she's having.
Not at all. These dreams are often prophetic. They show possibilities, futures, echoes of the pattern itself. For Egwene, this means her concern for Rand is shifting from just, a friend's intuition to a genuine, developing magical ability to see his destiny. She's not just worried, she's seeing the danger woven around him.
Wow. Okay, so that completely changes her role. She's not just a student anymore. She's potentially a prophet.
Potentially, yes. It elevates her importance immensely. So, while all this is happening back in Faldara, this crash course in destiny and control, the men's pursuit has hit a very bizarre wall.
Right. Let's shift to chapter 15, the frantic search party.
It is frantic. The three who are left, Ingtar, Mat, and Perrin, are in complete chaos. Because Rand, Hurin, and Loial have just vanished.
Yawn. Like, no tracks, no sign of a struggle.
Nothing. They went to sleep at their camp, and in the morning, 3 of them are gone. No trace. Ingtar, as the military commander, is completely frustrated. He's assuming it's dark friends, some kind of advanced dark magic.
And this is where the cracks in their friendships really start to show. Mat, in particular, he's always been the skeptic, the cynic.
And he immediately jumps to the worst possible conclusion about his own friends. He's quoted wondering if they just ran away.
Ouch. That's heartbreaking. After everything they've been through together, his first thought is that they bailed.
It shows you how much the stress and the sheer impossibility of their quest has worn them down. Their trust is eroding. They've seen so much crazy supernatural stuff that a simple disappearance makes them blame each other.
To be fair, though, given Rand's whole "I will not be used" thing, you can almost see why Mat would think that. It's wrong, but Rand does want to run away.
It speaks volumes about the emotional distance growing between them. But this crisis, it forces Perrin's hand. He has to finally confront his own unnatural abilities.
The wolf brother thing.
The wolf brother identity. He is fighting it so hard. The book shows him repeating this desperate thought, this prayer almost. I'm a man, not a wolf. Light help me, I am a man.
He sees it as something that's taking away his humanity.
Exactly. It's a terrifying, unwanted change. Just like Rand fears the madness from Sedin, Perrin fears losing himself to the primal instinct of the wolf. The irony is it's so thick. They are both fighting the new identity the pattern is forcing on them.
But they're desperate now, they have no trail. And desperation changes things.
It forces acceptance.
Yeah.
Perrin realizes that through his connection to the wolves, he can actually track the dark friends. He can maybe even track Rand's group by scent. The wolves are giving him information, a pathway that is completely inaccessible to Ingtar or Mat.
So he has to. Well, just tell him. Hey guys, so fun fact, I talk to wolves now and they say the bad guys went that way.
Basically, yes. And it's a huge moment. He shares this with Ingtar. And Ingtar, who is this hardened, practical soldier, is obviously shocked, but he accepts it. He reluctantly agrees to follow this deeply weird new skill.
And that says a lot about Ingtar, actually.
Yeah.
That's a real moment of leadership. His mission to get the horn back is more important than his prejudice against, wolfmen.
It shows how desperate he is. He needs this mission to succeed, maybe to redeem some part of himself. He doesn't care how they find the trail, as long as they find it. He's essentially saying, I don't care if you bark at the moon, just find the horn.
And just when they sort of figure out this new, strange plan, things get even more complicated.
Chapter 15 delivers a major curveball, the unexpected arrival of Hurin Sedai.
Hurin, the one who was just teaching the girls back in Feldar, how did she even find them?
Exactly. Her sudden appearance, seemingly out of nowhere, immediately raises the stakes. She's there asking about Rand, which complicates the whole leadership dynamic. Now an Aes Sedai is in the mix.
Her showing up proves you can't really escape the White Tower, can you? You can just splinter off, try to do your own thing, but their influence just finds you.
The pattern will always catch up. Varen's motives are, as always with the Brown Aja, murky and complex. But her presence ties this little splinter group right back into the huge manipulative game the Aes Sedai are playing with the Dragon Reborn.
It's like trying to run away from a spider web. You touch one thread, the whole thing vibrates.
A perfect analogy.
And speaking of vibrations,
Yeah.
let's finally jump to where Rand, Hurin, and Loial actually went. This takes us to Deep Dive Section 2, Worlds Apart, Portal Stones and Mirror Realities, Chapters 14 and 17. This is the weird stuff.
It is. The discovery in Chapter 14 is deliberately jarring. The narrative just cuts, Rand wakes up, and everything is wrong.
The air is wrong, the sky is the wrong color.
The whole camp is transformed. The trees look familiar, but twisted. It's profoundly alien, yet unsettlingly recognizable. They are very clearly not where they went to sleep.
It's that ultimate feeling of, existential dread. And Rand's first thought is, I did this. It's instant self-blame.
Yes, the source confirms he's haunted by the possibility that he might have caused their relocation with his latent ability to channel the One Power. And you have to understand, for him, that's not just a mistake, it's a sign.
A sign that the madness is starting.
Exactly. The taint on Seddon is said to drive men mad. If he just transported them across reality without even knowing it, he thinks the madness must be right around the corner, which is why he keeps it a secret.
And then Loial, the walking encyclopedia, saves the day. Sort of. He sees this weird stone column nearby.
And he recognizes it. He identifies it as an ancient device, a portal stone, used by the Aes Sedai of old for interworld travel. And that's the moment the world as we know it completely fractures.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. We have to unpack this. The whole concept of mirror worlds. The stones don't just go from point A to point B. They travel through possibilities.
Yes. The source gives us this incredible reality-defining quote in Chapter 14. From stone to stone run the lines of if between the worlds that might be.
The lines of if. So, this is basically a multiverse.
It is. This quote introduces the literal, physical existence of alternate realities. These are the if worlds, the mirror worlds. They are spun into being by every choice, every decision that was ever made.
So you're saying there's a world out there where I chose a different breakfast this morning and everything is slightly different?
The concept implies exactly that, on both a micro and macro scale. Every time a character chose left instead of right, a world where they chose right continued to exist. They have now stumbled into one of those worlds.
That is terrifying. They walked into a reality built on choices they didn't make. A world where maybe the Shadow won the Trolloc Wars. Or the dragon was never born.
Precisely. It looks similar, but it's warped by the weight of a different history. And philosophically, it just throws the whole idea of free will versus destiny into a blender.
The psychological pressure of that. Knowing that your reality is just one of an infinite number of possibilities, and most of them are probably worse.
And it gets even more terrifying, because it's not just about alternate histories. There's another variable. This is where the mysterious woman, Selene, shows up. She appears in this mirror world, and she introduces the most mind-bending part of all this, the time anomaly.
Ugh, yes. Yeah. This is where my brain just started to hurt. Selene, who keeps pushing Rand to be great, she explains how these stones actually work, and it is not good news.
Not at all. She tells him, and this is a direct quote from Chapter 17, there are worlds where it is time rather than distance that changes. Spend a day in one of those, and you might come back to find a year has passed in the real world, or 20.
20 years.
Yeah.
Just stop and think about that for a second. 20 years. They are on a desperate, time-sensitive mission to get the Horn of Valere for the last battle, which is supposed to be coming soon.
The existential horror is immense.
They could spend a week in one of these if worlds tracking Fane, come back, and find out the last battle was fought and lost a decade ago. Their entire quest could be for nothing.
It creates this absolutely crushing urgency. They're racing a clock, but they can't see the clock. They have no idea if time back home is ticking faster or slower. Their only hope is for Rand, the untrained Sandaler who's terrified of his power, to somehow figure out how to work this ancient reality-bending device to get them home without losing decades.
No pressure.
None at all.
And that desperation, that's what leads to the reckless return in Chapter 17. While they're tracking Fane, Selene is just constantly in Rand's ear.
She's a master manipulator, pushing his pride, urging him to take control, to be great. She gives him that critical piece of advice. It is always better to choose than to be forced. A man who's forced is never completely his own master.
She's basically telling him to own the power, to choose to be the hero, instead of letting the Aes Sedai or fate push him around. It's designed to appeal directly to his need for autonomy.
And it works, whether it's her words or the sheer terror of the time anomaly or just primal desperation. Rand finally breaks, he accidentally channels again.
But this time it's not just like a random burst.
No, this time it's focused. He taps into Sedin, the male half, the tainted half of the power, and he pours its energy through the portal stone. He forces it to take them home.
A shepherd from a backwater village just performed interdimensional transport, an act that fully trained ancient Aes Sedai used to do. It just shows you the raw, untamed scale of his power.
And the result is pure chaos. They're thrown back into their world, but Rand is completely overwhelmed. Physically, psychologically, he has no idea how he did it. His power is acting on its own like this wild, sentient thing inside him, and it's terrifying.
So the whole Portal Stone detour, it was an accident, but it forced his hand. It made him channel in a huge way, confirming all his worst fears. But even before that, things were getting pretty dark internally for him. Which brings us back a little to Chapter 16 for our third deep dive, the Dark Confrontation.
Yes. Chapter 16 is a masterclass in psychological horror, and it achieves it through the environment. Rand, Hurin, and Loial are traveling through this bleak, desolate landscape called Kinslayer's Dagger.
That name alone is just dripping with dread. What's the significance? It refers to lose there in Hungovaya.
It does. It refers to the breaking of the world, when the male Aes Sedai, driven mad by the Dark One's taint, destroyed civilization. Luz there in Telamon was the Kinslayer. So this place is physically steeped in that ancient tragedy.
The land itself is a reminder of the madness he fears.
Exactly. The source material emphasizes the scorched earth, the eerie quiet. It's a physical mirror of Rand's own internal landscape, exhausted, barren, and haunted.
Just a miserable, depressing place. But in the middle of it, Loial tries to offer some comfort, some perspective.
He does. He gives Rand this really important, grounding piece of philosophy. He says, everything is linked, Rand. Whether it lives or not, whether it thinks or not, everything that is fits together.
That's Loial's whole worldview, isn't it? That even in all this chaos, there's a pattern, there's a coherence to the universe. He's trying to remind Rand that he's not just a random accident, he's part of something bigger.
It's a necessary reminder, a philosophical anchor right before the storm hits.
Because a storm does hit, a nightmare made real.
Yes. Rand's on a watch, and this thick, unnatural fog rolls in, and out of it steps Balsamon, the Dark One.
And this isn't like his other dreams, is it? This feels
Great.
real, more direct.
Much more. It feels immediate, physical, and terrifying. Balsamon isn't just haunting his sleep, he's confronting him. He taunts Rand, claiming this deep, disturbing connection between them.
He's trying to get in his head.
It's psychological warfare. He's trying to seduce him with despair. He warns Rand about the madness, the pain, the loneliness of his power, trying to convince him that the only logical choice is to give in, to join him.
But Rand fights back. He finds the strength from somewhere.
He does. In this huge, pivotal moment of defiance, he looks the Dark One in the eye and says, I deny you, and I deny your power.
He rejects him completely. But that's not the end of it. Denial isn't enough.
No. This is where the pattern is just. It's brutal. Even though Rand rejects him, Balsamon still marks him. He brands Rand's palm with a heron.
A heron, the mark of a blade master. And it's not a magical illusion, it's a real physical brand. A scar.
A painful, permanent scar. It's a physical symbol of his destiny. It ties him to the martial skill of Lews Therin, and by extension, to the One Power itself.
So even when he wins the mental battle, he still gets physically scarred by it. There's no escaping.
None. The internal confrontation now has an external, permanent sign. It's proof that even if Rand says no, the world and the Dark One recognize his power and are forcing the role on him. He can't just walk away and be a shepherd anymore. The mark identifies him.
Okay, let's pull all this together. It feels like the right time for our character spotlight on Rand al'Thor. Let's call it the burden of the brand. The psychological toll on him in these few chapters is just, it's off the charts.
The central theme is the complete erosion of his identity. He started this journey so desperate to just be Rand the Shepherd. He was horrified by that dragon banner. Everything he does is an attempt to hold on to his own life.
But he keeps getting forced into a leadership role. Like back in chapter 14 when they were stranded in that other world. He didn't fall apart, he took charge. He told Loial, "I will get us back, Loial, I promise, one way or another."
That sense of self-imposed duty is at war with his desire for freedom. He doesn't want to be the leader, but for them to survive, he has to be.
And what about the power itself? How's he handling that internally?
It's complete turmoil. He's feeling the draw. He experiences the void, that state you need to enter to channel, as this incredibly dangerous place, but at the same time, he's hungering for it. It's like an addiction.
So he's terrified of it, but also craves it.
Yes, that duality is tearing him apart in chapter 16. He knows it leads to madness, but he can't deny the feeling of strength it gives him.
And then, the ultimate symbol of his fate being sealed. The Hurin brand. This physical mark of a destiny he is actively trying to run from.
It's a painful symbol of a greatness he never asked for and does not want. And what's the very first thing he does after they get back when he's feeling the pain from it?
He hides it. He wraps his hands so Loial and Hurin can't see it.
Exactly. That act of hiding it, it symbolizes his complete and utter isolation. He can't pretend to be a simple shepherd anymore, but he also can't share the truth of what's happening to him. The dark forces, the magic. It's all his secret to bear. He's totally alone.
Which brings us right back to what Selene told him. It is always better to choose than to be forced. A man who's forced is never completely his own master.
The irony is just crushing him. He is learning that lesson the hard way. He's being forced. He's not choosing to be the dragon reborn. He's resisting it. And because of that, the pattern, through the brand, through the accidental channeling, is stripping him of his mastery over himself.
So the only way for him to actually be his own master would be to choose the thing he's running from.
That's the terrible paradox he's trapped in. To reclaim his agency, he would have to embrace the role. And he's just not ready to do that.
Wow. The weight of that is just. It's immense. He's been branded by the Dark One, he's teleported himself across dimensions with magic he can't control, and now he's just trying to act normal while tracking a thief. He's the world's savior and a fugitive from his own fate at the same time.
And he's carrying the secret knowledge of the if worlds and the time anomaly, a level of existential dread none of his friends can even comprehend. The simple hunt for Fane is now completely entangled with his terrifying growing power.
So what does this all mean for the story right now? We've had these huge shifts. Alternate realities are real now. The dragon is branded. The search party is split in two.
The most important practical development is that Rand, Hurin, and Loial are back. Rand's terrifying power worked. It got them back to their own world, and crucially, it put them back on Fane's trail, heading toward a place called Tomenhead.
So the next challenge is obvious. You have two groups. Rand's trio, who are now aware of these insane interworld dangers. And then you have Ingtar's party, who are now being led by an Aes Sedai and a wolf brother. And they're both heading to the same place.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Think about it. They tried to avoid the dangers of the magical transport system, the Ways, by taking what they thought was a shortcut.
And instead, they stumbled into the infinite, terrifying danger of the if worlds and time itself.
Exactly. So the final thought to leave you with is this. What are the long-term consequences of that? Of seeing what might have been? Does Rand's glimpse into the worlds that might be give him some kind of deeper understanding of the pattern? Or does it just make him more terrified of the one world that is the one that's demanding he fulfill this terrible, magnificent destiny?
That is the question, isn't it? The hunt for the Horn is no longer just a hunt. It's a navigation of reality itself. You now know everything you need to about Rand's brand, the Quartal Stones, and the terrifying idea of if. We'll be back next time to see what happens when these two paths finally converge. Thank you for taking this deep dive with us.